What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me for Real Talk NFT, where we talk about all things NFT and Web3 related. I'm your host, Brian. You know my amazing co host, Joe. And we have a really awesome guest here for you today. It's Zach Bruch. He's the founder and CEO of MyPrize. It's a crypto online casino. So, you degens out there are going to absolutely love this. Excited to dive deep, talk about MyPrize. Zach, appreciate you jumping on, my man.
So great to be here.
Well, before we get into my prize and how we could have some fun, playing table games and all the good stuff and learning all about the streaming capabilities, tell me a little bit about your background and how you even got into Web3 and got into, finding and being the CEO of MyPrize.
I've been in the space long enough to remember when it was just crypto. I got involved in the space in 2010, discovered Bitcoin, fell in love with it, just thought it was really interesting and started to meet people in the industry. Fast forward a little bit from there, and my love for the space grew beyond just Bitcoin, and eventually started professionally working in the space, and started at Kraken, where I helped build the trading desk there. And then after that was at DRW Cumberland, so a very large market maker, on the trading desk there. And then ultimately left to go run my own book of capital. I also started another business in the ecosystem called Recur, which we grew and scaled, and brought in some of the largest publicly traded businesses and IPs into the NFT space. And then now MyPrize. But a common thread amongst all of those is trying to find ways to onboard the masses into the crypto ecosystem, because the thing that attracted me to the space from the beginning was this ethos of what's really behind crypto, which is self-sovereignty, and accessing a more global and open market. And so if you onboard many users into this ecosystem and people into this space, you don't have to onboard them into a decentralized protocol or push them to a specific token. If you can bring them into a killer application like an exchange, or a platform that they can access their favorite IP, or a casino where they can play their favorite games, and then from there they can go discover a broader crypto ecosystem, then you're doing something meaningful. So that's always been part of what's really interested me, from an entrepreneurial sense, building into the space.
Yeah, awesome. That's a heck of a resume. Getting in 2020 is very impressive. So hats off. And you've seen this industry grow, and I know you've been through your full share of bear and bull markets, huh?
Yeah, to say the least. I've seen many ups and many downs, in markets and business, as an entrepreneur in life. But that's what keeps it interesting, keeps it fun. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that my exact team that I have here, working with me and partnering with me at MyPrize, has been with me as partners and teammates for some half a decade. So it's so great, because the foundation that we've built as a team, we can go out and tackle many issues. So it's an exciting time for us.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's one of the most important parts in Web2 businesses, Web3 businesses. Have a strong team, hire people smarter than you, all that good stuff, and people you can really rely on and trust at the end of the day. And it kind of really shows, because you're building some incredible things. Give me a little bit deeper breakdown of MyPrize and how it integrates crypto and how it's, you said decentralized. I don't know if it's fully decentralized. Just really curious about how it works at the end of the day.
Yeah. So when we started MyPrize, we were looking at much broader gambling ecosystem. So you're looking at $1 trillion market, right? So gambling's fucking huge. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say fucking, so you can cut that out, keep this in there. I don't know. Let me know. But gambling's fucking huge, and gaming's massive. And there isn't that large of an online presence in the grand scheme of things. Now, you might feel there is, like, you were mentioning to me, you used to work at DraftKings back in the day before we hopped on this call. And, seemingly you see DraftKings everywhere, but if you actually look at the broader space, online gambling represents less than 10% of the broader gambling market. So that needs to change. So as we were assessing, why is that? Why is it that online gambling hasn't had its explosive growth yet? It's had growth, but it hasn't had real, extreme hockey stick growth. And how is that larger $1 trillion number going to expand? as well as having the online growth expand, or is one going to expand or not? But it's one of the only large industries that haven't had huge internet moments yet. So it was an area we wanted to tackle, and we saw two things that were really relevant. One, that there's heavy stigma around the gambling ecosystem. So many people don't want to touch it. And two, it's hard to navigate from the regulatory side. So you talk about our background in the crypto space. Our whole team comes from building exchanges, building trading desks, managing risk, thinking about things like AML, KYC, fraud, chargebacks, things like that, user accounts, very infrastructure based in this space. It translates super well to the casino side. And from a stigma perspective, I mean, I've been in this space since 2010. I've been dealing with this stigma of working in crypto for a very long time. It used to not be so cool. Now it's cool. You're a crypto, person. But back in the day, you go to your girlfriend's parents and say, "Oh, I work in Bitcoin. I'm at Kraken." They're like, "You're dating a fucking drug dealer, right?" And so they couldn't understand that, what this industry was. Now people get it. There's a lot more acceptance. The stigma has lessened. In the gambling and gaming space, you see something similar. Sports betting is now at the forefront, and that seems like that's okay. No more stigma. And our view is that the online casino space, so think slots, table games, live dealer, all of that stigma is going to disappear as well too. So how are we incorporating crypto, and why are we incorporating crypto? Well, of course, we accept crypto in as a form of deposit. But back to my point from earlier in the conversation, my entire goal at this point, period, in my career is onboard as many people as possible into the crypto ecosystem. It's something I believe in and something our team believes in. So fundamentally, I believe that one of the things that has been backwards in the crypto space is that there has not been many killer applications that have then onboarded users. It's been something else. You have these fantastic protocols, which, by the way, very hard to build technology, great infrastructure, if you will, but not killer apps on top of it. Meaning, like, you have, chains, not many businesses built on top of it that have, millions of users. Now, of course, there are applications that have users, and it's been great. But if you look at someone like Binance as an example, and just looking at them as an example, they built a killer application. It's the largest crypto exchange in the world. So they're onboarding millions of people into the space. And then they were able to push those people into a broader crypto ecosystem by onboarding them into BNB. So they created developer tools, allowed developers to, create, plenty of applications. And then those developers and those new businesses could then leverage the ecosystem, or the traders and users of Binance. So it becomes this two-sided marketplace of users and creators. So as we're thinking about MyPrize, it's how can we build this killer application? It is a centralized business completely, but eventually we'll support a decentralized ecosystem where we will support a Gamblify ecosystem, and our users will be able to access that, and hopefully will be a gateway for them to discover a much broader crypto ecosystem. And then on top of that, also support developers. And then instead of being a two-sided marketplace, we'll actually have one more prong, which is that we have creators on our platform, because that's a huge part of what we're doing, is how can we enable and empower creators? And so when you take developers, a strong user base, and couple that with creators, you've got creators that help market, you have users that can go and be active participants for the developers, and then of course you have a developer ecosystem. So that's the goal of how we'll eventually get to supporting a decentralized world. And I know that might have been a long-winded answer, but again, a huge piece of what we're doing, because it's a big part of our ethos, is how can we ultimately onboard as many people as possible into a broader crypto world.
Yeah, that's very interesting stats you brought up. I was unaware that only 10% of gaming is online. That seems very little, right? With how advanced we are in the digital world these days. Is that because of regulations, or is it what is the pain point there? I think you mentioned it, but it's the user experience, right?
I think you're seeing a very, there's regulatory, and then there's heavy stigma. So one, even from a capital perspective, how you're even funding these online casinos today, it's very hard to go out and get venture capital for it, because even in their mandates, they can't participate. So that's one. Two, builders don't necessarily want to build in the space because of the stigma. It's the same exact thing that was happening in crypto. In the early days, you had a lot of pioneers that were building in the space, but it's only recently that abundance of talent is coming in. And when there's abundance of talent coming in, there's more chances for larger outcomes of scale of business. I believe that we're going to see massive amounts of entrepreneurs and massive amounts of strongly talented people start entering the broader gaming ecosystem, gambling ecosystem, because the stigma is completely lessening. And so you're seeing that across the board. You're seeing that more states are in the US here are actually becoming more lax on gambling, or rather than more lax, they're actually allowing gambling in the States, and they're going to regulate it appropriately. But they are opening up to that idea and concept because the municipalities need to raise cash from a tax perspective. So that's what's happening in the US from a gaming perspective. And then abroad, there's continuing to be growth. But what we're seeing across the board, across everything that we're seeing across social media, is that, and also in markets, is that people want to speculate. Even that entire movement from Robinhood a couple of years back that you saw with GameStop and AMC, it was the human desire to speculate and chase something and do something as a group. So people really want that. And now it's becoming even easier for them to access these types of products. We're seeing it right now as well with the meme coin craze that's happening in crypto. Like, why is that? Why is that happening? It's because people want to go and speculate and have instant gratification. With a meme coin, you have the ability to live through the entire volatility of like a market cycle in an hour or in a day or in a week. And that is an incredible feeling for people. And that, like, it's almost like, of course, like gambling in some sense, but more importantly, these people are rallying around concepts and ideas as a group and as a unit, to then speculate. And I think that's going to continue to grow.
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, well, with the meme coin thing as well, like the debates, like this is going to be posted a few days after, but like the presidential debates are tonight, and everyone's kind of getting geared up because there are going to be meme coins derived from this debate that are going to 3 to 5x instantly. And I'm just like, man, I hope my internet is on high speed because I might be joining everyone. And you also make a great point that gambling is becoming more accepted worldwide. I mean, major brands and corporations like the NFL, which shunned it for years, and we all kind of knew that they wanted gambling because that's why a lot of people watched the games for so long, but now they're embracing it. You turn on ESPN and 30 minutes before game time, or you're watching the game and they're running live prop bets. And I know my time from DraftKings, just the growth they see hand over fist. But you're tackling a very difficult industry. I know firsthand with regulation and just all the red tape. So you are definitely doing a great job out there, but you have a hard job ahead of you, and you're doing great things. Break down a little bit about how you're incorporating creators and streaming, because I'm actually seeing that more and more.
Yep.
I like go through my Instagram and I'm watching some celebrity play a game on stake, or there's a guy I actually follow on Instagram, Tim Nacky, I believe. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but he was betting like 10 cents every follower and made $1 million. Now he bets I follow this guy and root for him. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I'm watching this guy play blackjack hand. I sincerely root for him to win. And it's amazing, that connection. I would never thought I was the guy that would be following somebody like that, but I like every time you post a video, I'm excited.
That feeling is exactly what we're capturing at MyPrize, but we're taking it a step further. So if you look at the broader space, what's happening right now, you're exactly right. You are able to, consume this content in one place, and these streamers are streaming online casino. But right now, it's a passive. It's passive. You're just watching them, much how like on Instagram, you're following someone you're liking. Where you're seeing tons of growth in social media is live streaming, right? Kick, Twitch, where you can actually interact and have a parasocial, meaning you can actually engage with the content creator. You're talking to them, you're in chat with them, you're actually engaging with them. And so one of the things that we felt was very important is, instead of having a passive experience in the online content consumption of casino, why not make it active? And on top of that, why not make it so that the content creator can actually maximize the most and win and really have fun with their audience? So what we created is the ability to actually bet together with your favorite creators. So that exact feeling that you had, and your wife's like, what's going on here, could have also said, but I also threw 10 cents on that bet. Like, let's go. Like, we're in this, right? And you're having fun, but you're not in everyone. Like the three of us could be together, betting together with our favorite creators, and we're watching the stream anyways. You are watching that stream anyways, just to have fun and feel it. But now you get to sweat the bet with them, have fun with your friends in that community. Listen, we're all Web3 guys. We have group chats, I'm sure, with people from all over the world that some people you probably never met in person. I mean, I have so many of these friends, and these are friends of mine. Okay. I can't go to the movies with them. I can't walk to the park. I can't play sports with them. We talk online together. If there were activities that we can do together, like we were able to bet together online or have a fun night together with our also favorite content creators, that's awesome. Or if you were part of an NFT community and that whole NFT community was able to enter, a room together and all be part of an online casino together, all betting with their favorite creators, that's incredible. So that's the feeling that we wanted to capture. And then from the creator side, we wanted them to really be able to earn, right? You're seeing creators that aren't actually capturing the value of the content that they're creating, right? Like Mr. Beast, the best content creator in the world, and he's making a fuck ton of money. I mean, right? He's really printing. However, he's capturing his value from all sorts of different things, not necessarily his content. And so he's one example, but if you look at the long tail of YouTube creators and other content creators, they aren't making as much money because it's very difficult for them. So we wanted to create the ability for these content creators to actually own a piece, or have a share in what's happening in their rooms so that they can monetize as well. And so as you start thinking about where this goes, you take a group like the Nelk Boys, and I'm just using them as an example. Imagine if they were part of MyPrize. We are working with fantastic creators. Actually, I'll use one of our own creators. We have an amazing creator, King Wool, is part of 100 Thieves. He's absolutely incredible, and he can be streaming, all day long, and then say, "Boys, listen up. We're gonna go, pull a slot together. Like, let's go." And everyone throws into the slot, and they're all having the time of their lives. And you transition from streaming about gaming to online casino to doing something more active, and of course, you're creating killer content, right? So where that grows from there is we see it not just with gambling streamers coming in or gaming streamers, but groups like I mentioned in the future, groups like Nelk, where they're chugging a beer and being like, "Boys, the fun's continuing. Let's spin the roulette wheel. What number are we throwing down on?" Right? Or even, female makeup content creators. "Hey, I'm doing my daily makeup routine. Let's spin slots together," because that's a new way for them to monetize. It's also fun for the people watching. It creates a more active environment. And so these are things that we're starting to think about. If you're a comedian and you're doing a show, instead of just posting it on, YouTube, you could also host it on MyPrize and people could be playing blackjack while you're doing your show. This podcast, next time when we do it again, let's fucking do it live, and we can do it in the casino, and we can have people all over the world playing, and that's a new revenue stream for everybody, and it's fun for the creators because your whole audience is people that like to speculate, have a good time, have fun, and these are things that can be done. So I think fundamentally we're going to change a lot of the ways that people engage, interact online, and we are not shying away from the fact that since day one of human civilization, people have been speculating and gambling. That human nature has not changed. Like, how was fire created? It wasn't because we were freaking cold. It's because two guys were like, "Yo, how much you want to bet that I can get these sticks to light up?" Right? Like, that's why it happened. And it was summer. So this is why these things are happening. And this is an innate part of human nature, having fun, lots of engagement. And we're really excited to bring that to the world.
That's nice. I mean, we do Web3 like you mentioned, and we're on social media also. So any way to interact and engage, as we're seeing now, is break down walls is very important. And what pertaining to what you're saying earlier about NFT communities, all of them have a poker night. It's cool to see that, and that's how primarily a way that people get together in the NFT community. I had a question for you since you've been running MyPrize and looking to tackle this. You're doing God's work, trying to onboard the masses. What's moving the needle for you guys, and what's your target audience? Is it online bettors? Is it people that are offline? Is it crypto native folks specifically? I know that you can deposit in fiat and crypto if you wanted to. It's kind of what's the lessons there, right? Like, is it creators that's bringing people on board? How are you tackling like the biggest problems that's onboarding people now? I know there's too many questions in there, but I just want to throw a
Yeah,
couple at you.
we got a lot. Don't worry, I'll try to hit them all.
Yeah.
So in terms of who we want to onboard, back to what I said earlier, we believe fundamentally that everyone wants to go play, have fun, and participate in the casino. First, though, who we're going to bring on first from a user perspective is we want to bring on users that are already participating in this market because they already know it. There's no education that needs to be done. They already love it. They enjoy it. We want to show them why they can go and have a lot of fun on our casino as well, too, right? They can play with their favorite creators. They can play with their friends. We want to bring them in. In terms of who those people are, yes, we want to bring in a crypto native user, but also the non-crypto native user, and more so broadly, the gambling native users. So gambling native users and crypto native users to start. On the creator side, which creators are we bringing into the platform to start? So the first 3 weeks, which has, it's just been 3 weeks since we've been live. The first 3 weeks we focused on gaming and gambling specific creators. Why? Because we wanted to help set the etiquette for how to actually stream successfully on the site and how to create content on the site, because it's a new and novel product that we've created, Bet Together. It's something, of course, that we've patented as well, but it's it doesn't exist. So you have to share and show the audience, how to actually engage with you. And by the way, streaming is difficult in itself, right? Like you can be the best, Instagram influencer in the world, but streaming content, 8 hours a day, keeping your audience engaged, different ballpark. So we wanted to start with folks that are excellent streamers in the gaming and gambling space, that are familiar with the games, right? Because we work with, a lot of the largest iGaming providers. So they know the games, they know their audiences enjoys the games. And so they can help set the etiquette for how to behave. So in terms of who we are starting with, those cohorts, it's crypto natives, gambling natives, and then from a creator perspective, gambling native creators. That's, how we're starting. As we're looking to expand, we're going to go into all channels to onboard as many people as possible, because what we really feel is that we're entertainment. We're a lot of fun. It's, you can go and, of course, on a casino, you win or you lose, right? And the house has edge. The house always wins, as they say in a casino. But you can go and have a lot of fun, and you can win as well too. And so what we want to do is have very low limits. So we have limits where you can bet a penny, right? 2 pennies, 5 pennies, 10 cents, right? And you do that for an hour. That's way cheaper than the soda at the movies. If you lose, and if you win, you've won something, right? And so it's really more so for us about how we can create a fun, social, engaging online experience for communities as we're thinking about the Bet Together product, because we believe that's how the masses can come in, because many people, aren't going and playing slots online because it's not fun for them just yet to do that alone, in their house. But if they're doing it with all their friends, then it becomes a bit more exciting. It's kind of like why is sports betting fun? Sports betting's fun because you're watching a game on TV, you're maybe talking with your friends, you both have a different position, or you're at the bar, and it creates a much more fun environment. So what we're trying to do is replicate the brick and mortar experience of a casino. When you go to a roulette table, you're surrounded by 10 people. You're at a craps table. You might not even know the people at the other side, but all of a sudden, by the end of the night, you're best friends with the guy across the table in the cowboy hat. You know what I mean? And so being able to recreate those feelings and emotions is what we want to do. And that's what we're trying to tackle.
We all love a good old squad ride, not gonna lie. like an 18 parlay, you got like 4 people on the text message thread asking me like why the Florida Panthers money line didn't hit or something in game 4. I'm like, my goodness. But I love what you're doing. It's a lot of fun. So I do have a question for you, just from my experience at DraftKings, like, and not to dive too deep into like regulations and everything along those lines, but it looks like my first question when we were talking, and I was on the website earlier, was like, can I play this in the United States? But it looks like you have a US version here, and it's not like geolocated, restricted, or anything along those lines. It's seems pretty smooth on that end, correct?
So we have two separate, completely separate entities, right? So we have an entity that services an offshore market and an entity that services an onshore market. And onshore in the US, we do not do real money gaming. Onshore in the US, we're a sweepstakes-based casino. So totally separate. And then offshore, totally separate entity. So, here in the US, you can participate on myprize.us, and I'm assuming you're sitting in the US. that's where you'd be able to play. And if you're outside of the US, you'd be on myprize.com playing, totally separately.
Yeah, what are some of the most popular games? I see all sorts of stuff. Slots games, table games, and then there's even a scratch card, it looks like, which looks like kind of the Blast Layer 2 just released yesterday, and there was a mechanism there where they incorporated some sort of scratch card. So it's kind of funny that you're seeing this pop up more and more.
Yeah, so far, slots has been by far the most popular game for the casino. And it's actually one of the things that you're seeing online. Slots is one of the largest growing categories in online streaming as well. So I think there's a direct correlation. And most of the streamers, and I was taking a second to think because I was almost going to say nearly all, but most of the streamers exclusively are streaming slots. So their audience and user base is playing slots with them. And so those are the games that people are betting together and playing together. And so, yeah, slots is the biggest. And then after that, you're seeing a lot of blackjack play and scratch cards and things like that.
Awesome.
Are you guys going to be on mobile, or are you already on mobile?
So we have a web app, so you can pull it up on your phone. But yeah, in the future, we will be have a mobile app. We don't have a sports book today. We'll have a sports book. These are all things that are coming.
Got it. I asked that because I played a lot of My Vegas. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's MGM related. And I was on that thing addictively for nonstop 2 years straight. So I was just questioning that because I'm like, this is on mobile. I'm going to be addicted to it.
I hear you loud and clear. We got to get you on. I don't know why you're not on yet. We got to get you on.
Yeah, this is great, Zach. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm personally going to dive a little bit deeper. It's right up my alley, to be honest with you. Don't want to, I can get into the degenerate lifestyle a little bit here and there and have a little bit of fun for smiles and fun. Not financial advice for anybody out there, but I'll definitely be taking a look. Kind of my last question is, it looks like you're just surging into a huge growth sector, crypto, gaming, and I can only see big things for you moving forward. Any upcoming partnerships, or how's that formulating in the future here?
Well, for us, it's just been the first 3 weeks since we've launched. Of course, we started the business nearly a year ago now. We started the business last September, but we only launched 3 weeks ago. So we've been slowly ramping, but in the next quarter, we're going to start aggressively coming out, marketing, bringing on a lot of great streamer partnerships. Can't reveal all the secrets just yet, but we're going to really ramp. This past period has been a beta period for us. It's been great, and we're going to continue to grow. But this next quarter is really about growing even further and having large scale. So lots to look forward to. Things like sportsbook, more creator content, and we have a few other fun tricks up our sleeve as well. So we'll have to discuss that next quarter together, maybe.
I love it. Yeah, we'd love to have you back on. Only out for 3 weeks, and the website looks completely awesome and legit. So I feel even more excited because I'm going to get in on the ground floor here. But I want to give you an opportunity to kind of give a shout out for the websites, give a shout out if you want anybody to find you. And I'm sure our audience will definitely be diving deep.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you're offshore, go visit myprize.com. And if you're here in the US, you can visit myprize.us. Come play, have fun, bring your friends, engage with your friends. If you have favorite creators, let us know. We'd love to bring them on. And you can follow us on Twitter at myprize.com and at myprizeus. You can find me at Zach Bruch. And we're here. If you have any questions, reach out. You want to come play. And you have any suggestions for us, shoot us DMs, because we're trying to make this thing as best as possible.
Awesome. Appreciate you jumping on, and we'll definitely have you on real soon. Thanks again, Zach.
Cool. Thanks for having me.